Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the 79th verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. He who imbibes the Dhamma abides in happiness with mind pacified. The wise man ever delights in the Dhamma revealed by the Aryas. Dear listeners, the Buddha in this verse illuminates the profound peace and enduring happiness that arises from deeply embracing the Dhamma. To imbibe the Dhamma is not merely to listen or recite words, but to integrate the teachings into the heart, to let them permeate thought, speech, and action. When the mind absorbs the Dharma, unwholesome tendencies weaken, craving diminishes, and the heart experiences a natural tranquility. This inner peace is not dependent upon external circumstances, wealth, or reputation. It arises from the cultivation of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mindful understanding. The wise man, delighting in the Dhamma, lives in a state of harmony with the truth revealed by the Aryas, the noble ones. These teachings guide one to see the world as it truly is, impermanent, conditioned, and empty of self. To delight in the Dhamma is to find joy in mindfulness, in ethical living, in meditation, and in the practice of loving kindness. Such joy is enduring, unshaken by the vicissitudes of life. Unlike fleeting pleasure derived from sensory gratification, the happiness of the Dhamma is profound, subtle, and complete. The story of the disciple Sariputta exemplifies this truth. From the moment he grasped the teachings of the Buddha, Sariputta devoted himself to practicing the Dhamma with mindfulness and clarity. He observed the arising and passing of feelings, understood the nature of craving and aversion, recognition, but on the deep understanding and assimilation of the noble truths. His example shows that happiness arises naturally when one imbibes the teachings fully, letting them guide thought, speech, and action. The Buddha emphasizes that the mind pacified through the Dhamma is a mind that does not cling, does not grasp, and does not create suffering through attachment or aversion. When one delights in the teachings, the mind turns inward, finding joy and clarity, ethical living, and insight. Meditation becomes a source of refuge, ethical conduct a source of harmony, and understanding of the Dhamma a source of profound satisfaction. This happiness is not fleeting, as it rests not on external circumstances, but on inner realization, on the cultivation of insight, and on alignment with the truth revealed by the Aryas. To imbibe the Dhamma requires attentive practice and constant mindfulness, listening to teachings, reflecting on them, and applying them in daily life gradually transforms the mind. The practitioner observes the arising of unwholesome thoughts and gently redirects attention to virtuous action, ethical conduct, and mindfulness. Craving, aversion, and delusion are gradually weakened, while insight, clarity, and compassion are strengthened. The mind, once restless and scattered, becomes serene, focused, and content. This is the natural happiness that arises from the Dhamma, a deep delight unshaken by the outer world. The Buddha also teaches that delighting in the Dhamma includes a continuous aspiration to learn, understand, and embody the teachings. The wise practitioner does not seek temporary pleasures or external validation, but takes joy in the process of understanding the nature of the mind, observing impermanence, cultivating compassion, and developing insight. Each moment of practice, each meditation, and each act of ethical conduct reinforces this delight. The heart grows peaceful, the mind calm, and the life itself becomes a manifestation of the Dhamma. In the scriptures, many stories highlight the transformative power of delighting in the Dhamma. Disciples who observed the Aryas, listened to their words, and practiced diligently experienced profound change. Mahakassapa, known for his ascetic practice and deep insight, demonstrated how living in harmony with the teachings brought happiness and inner peace. His delight in the Dhamma was evident in his tranquil demeanor, ethical clarity, and compassionate actions. Even when faced with challenges or hardships, the joy of the Dhamma sustained him, showing the enduring nature of happiness rooted in wisdom and understanding. The Buddha emphasizes that delighting in the Dhamma is an active practice, not a passive appreciation. It requires attentive mindfulness, ethical living, and meditation. One imbibes the teachings through reflection, application, and observation of cause and effect. By observing the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless nature of phenomena, the practitioner reduces attachment and aversion. By cultivating ethical behavior, compassion, and generosity, the heart becomes expansive and content. By practicing meditation, the mind becomes calm, clear, and receptive to insight. The delight of the wise person arises naturally from this integration of, but accessible to laypeople, families, and all beings who embrace the teachings with understanding and application. Even in daily life, observing ethical conduct, practicing mindfulness, and reflecting on the Dhamma brings joy. Small acts of kindness, moments of reflection, and ethical decisions rooted in awareness cultivate contentment and peace. The happiness of the Dhamma is, therefore, universal, attainable by anyone who chooses to integrate the teachings into their life. The 79th verse of the Dhammapada highlights a profound truth. Lasting happiness is found. One transforms the mind, cultivates insight, and experiences joy that is deep, enduring, and independent of the world. This is the path of the wise, the practice of the awakened, and the source of. The Buddha's teaching in this verse highlights that true happiness arises from cultivating a mind aligned with the Dhamma, a mind that is calm, clear, and undisturbed. When the practitioner absorbs the teachings fully, unwholesome thoughts of greed, hatred, and delusion gradually diminish. The mind becomes like a serene lake, reflecting the truth with clarity and purity. In this state, joy is not dependent on external circumstances. Wealth, fame, or the pleasures of the senses may come and go, yet the inner contentment of one who delights in the Dhamma remains steadfast, untouched by impermanence or change. The delight in the Dhamma is not a fleeting emotion, but a sustained state of joy arising from understanding and insight. The Aryas, the noble ones, have realized the truth of the Four Noble Truths, the impermanence of all conditioned phenomena, and the path to liberation. By studying and reflecting on their teachings, the practitioner aligns with the truth, cultivates wisdom, and nurtures a heart free from suffering. Each insight gained, each moment of mindfulness practiced, deepens this delight. Even the simplest observation of the impermanent and interdependent nature of life fosters satisfaction, equanimity, and peace. Consider the story of Sariputta, whose mind was renowned for clarity and insight. Sariputta immersed naturally from this inner pacification. Sariputta's joy was not dependent on worldly circumstances, but on the assimilation of the Dhamma and the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. His delight in the teachings inspired countless disciples, demonstrating that the practice of the Dhamma is both personally fulfilling and universally beneficial. To imbibe the Dhamma is to integrate the teachings into every aspect of life. This includes ethical conduct, mindfulness, meditation, and compassionate action. When the practitioner observes ethical principles, refrains from harming others, and cultivates generosity, the mind becomes serene. Mindfulness strengthens insight, allowing the practitioner to perceive the arising and passing of sensations. The mind, recognizing impermanence, and observing the interdependent arising of all phenomena. Even in the face of challenges, suffering, or change, this delight sustains the practitioner. It is a happiness rooted in understanding, insight, and the cultivation of virtue. Unlike temporary pleasures of sensory indulgence, which are subject to loss and disappointment, the joy of the Dhamma is enduring, subtle, and complete. In the scriptures, many examples highlight the transformative power of delighting in the Dhamma. Mahakassapa, for instance, devoted himself to austere practice and meditation, delighting in the teachings of the Buddha. Even when confronted with difficulties or hardship, his mind remained serene and joyful, sustained by his understanding and embodiment of the Dhamma. Similarly, lay disciples who sincerely practiced mindfulness, ethical conduct, and meditation experienced a profound inner peace and contentment, demonstrating that delight in the Dhamma is accessible to all, regardless of social status or occupation. The practice of delighting in the Dhamma also fosters compassionate action. A mind pacified and joyful naturally overflows into kindness, generosity, and understanding toward others. The practitioner who appreciates the teachings of the Aryas becomes a source of support and inspiration, sharing the joy and peace and outward benefit. The Buddha teaches that the pacification of the mind is closely linked with ethical living. One who delights in the Dhamma observes precepts, refrains from unwholesome action, and cultivates virtue in thought, word, and deed. Ethical conduct stabilizes the mind, reduces conflict and inner agitation, and lays the foundation for deep meditation and insight. The happiness of one who lives in accordance with the Dhamma arises naturally, for the mind is no longer tormented by guilt, regret, or attachment. Instead, it rests in clarity, peace, and profound contentment. Delighting in the Dhamma also involves continuous learning and reflection. The wise practitioner does not rest in complacency, but seeks to understand the teachings deeply. Craving and aversion. Over time, this consistent practice transforms the mind, leading to enduring happiness and unwavering delight in the Dhamma. The 79th verse of the Dhammapada thus highlights a central principle. Lasting happiness is born from the assimilation of the Dhamma and delight in the teachings of the Aryas. By cultivating ethical conduct, mindfulness, meditation, and insight, the practitioner pacifies the mind and experiences profound joy. This delight is independent of external conditions, impervious to change, and available to all who sincerely practice. It is the hallmark of wisdom, the fruit of understanding, and the source of enduring contentment for all beings. He who imbibes the Dhamma abides in happiness with mind pacified. The wise man ever delights in the Dhamma revealed by the Aryas. Dear listeners, the Buddha's teaching in this verse guides us to recognize the profound and enduring happiness that arises from truly embracing the Dhamma. To imbibe the teachings is to allow them to penetrate the heart, to let their wisdom shape thought, word, and action. It is not enough to merely listen or recite. One must integrate the Dhamma into daily life, allowing ethical conduct, mindfulness, meditation, and insight to cultivate a mind that is peaceful, clear, and content. This is the happiness of the wise, rooted not in external circumstances, wealth, or pleasure, but in the inner transformation that the Dhamma brings. The delight in the teachings of the Aryas arises naturally when the mind perceives truth, observes impermanence, and cultivates ethical clarity. The Aryas, those noble ones who have realized the Four Noble Truths and the path of liberation, serve as guides, illuminating the way for practitioners to understand the nature of the mind, the arising of suffering, and the method to cultivate freedom. By following their instructions, reflecting on their teachings, and applying them with mindfulness, the practitioner experiences joy, serenity, and a profound sense of well-being that does not waver, even amidst life's challenges. Stories from the scriptures illustrate the transformative power of delighting in the Dhamma. Sariputta, whose mind was celebrated for clarity and insight, exemplifies the practitioner who imbibes the Dhamma. Through listening, reflecting, and practicing, he achieved a mind free from disturbance, experiencing happiness independent of worldly gain or loss. Similarly, Mahakassapa, known for his ascetic dedication and meditative insight, cultivated a mind pacified by the teachings, demonstrating that true delight arises from ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditation rooted in understanding. These stories teach that happiness based on Dhamma practice is universal, accessible to anyone willing to sincerely engage with the teachings. The Buddha emphasizes that delight in the Dhamma nurtures compassion, ethical conduct, and mindfulness. A mind pacified and joyful radiates kindness and patience toward others. Every act of compassion, generosity, and understanding reinforces the inner happiness cultivated through and the expression of wisdom in daily life, creating a harmonious cycle of inner peace and outward benefit. Imbibing the Dhamma also involves ongoing reflection and observation. The wise practitioner examines the arising and passing of thoughts, feelings, and sensations, noticing how attachment, aversion, and delusion influence perception and behavior. Through mindfulness, ethical conduct, and meditation, these unwholesome tendencies diminish, while insight and understanding deepen. Each reflection strengthens the mind's capacity for contentment. Each ethical action cultivates joy, and each moment of meditation fosters clarity. Over time, this sustained practice consolidates the delight in the Dhamma, transforming the heart and mind into a source of enduring happiness. Even in the face of challenges, hardship, or adversity, the happiness of the pacified mind remains steady. Unlike fleeting pleasures based on external conditions, which come and go, the joy arising from Dhamma practice is rooted in understanding, mindfulness, and ethical living. The Buddha teaches that the wise person rejoices in insight, ethical conduct, and meditation, finding contentment and stability in the inner life, regardless of outer circumstances. This is the mark of wisdom, the fruit of diligent practice, and the source of unshakable happiness. The 79th verse reminds us that the cultivation of Dhamma is accessible to all, not limited to monks or ascetics. Lay people, families, and all beings can experience the peace, clarity, are nurtured. Over time, these seeds blossom into profound contentment, equanimity, and insight, demonstrating that happiness grounded in Dhamma is universal, practical, and attainable. Delight in the Dhamma also strengthens spiritual resilience. When the mind is pacified, one responds to life with calmness, clarity, and understanding. Difficulties do not provoke anger or distress. Impermanence does not bring fear. Loss does not create despair. The happiness cultivated through the Dhamma allows the practitioner to navigate life with equanimity, patience, and compassion, offering a serene example to others while deepening personal insight and ethical conduct. Dear listeners, let us reflect deeply on this teaching. May we truly imbibe the Dhamma, allowing its wisdom to permeate our hearts, shape our minds, and guide our actions. May we delight in the teachings of the Aryas, cultivate ethical conduct, practice mindfulness, meditate, and develop insight. In doing so, our minds become pacified, our hearts serene, and our lives filled with enduring joy. Through this practice, we align ourselves with the path of awakening and bring benefit to all beings. Thank you for watching my video. Namalamat Ba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like,